Carl and Lou here from Games, Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's track by track time, taking a look at Gnosis from Russian Circles. That's how it's said, isn't it?
I just put Gnosis.
Gnosis. Of course, it's a silent G. Actually, as you said that, immediately went on my head. I've heard that before. It's a Gnosis. It's a silent G, isn't it? Of course it is. Gnosis, the 8th studio album by the American post-metal band Russian Circles, released August 19th, 2022 through Sargent House. Russian Circles, been aware of them, but weirdly, I've never really given them a lot of time, which is really fucking odd for me, because they're a post-metal band, and if it's no secret, my genre is post-metal, shoegaze, black gaze, that area, like that is my jam. The fact I've not really given Russian Circles a chance, I don't really know why. I think it's one of those likely where I've been like, oh yeah, I need to check this band out. And then I've forgotten because something else has come along and so on. So, as track by tracks are often good for us, this was a great opportunity to listen to something that's quite recent as of the time of recording too.
Yeah. So, well, you didn't get to see them at Art Tangent.
Nope.
But they're at Damnation.
This year, 2024, Damnation 2024, yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. And I think, give the Damnation Forum credit. They'll mention a song and everyone goes, oh yeah, or mentions the band, and everyone goes, definitely. I'm like, okay, I'm going to check them out. And I really enjoy them, so I was like, right, let's pick this album, and just literally picked one.
Well, yeah, as far as I'm aware, this is definitely the first full album I've ever listened to of Russian Circles, so of course we're going to get into a little bit of detail now. We begin with Tuplak. I do like how thick this one sounds and how dark it feels. The post-metal grows and grows, becoming more recognisable, but there was a strong sense of individuality about this track. The differing tempos, the dynamic guitar playing and varied drum beats keeps it interesting all the way through. It's a track that for me gets bigger and bigger as it goes on, evident by even more experimental touches. Great start.
Ominous opening track, rolling drums. I like the way this one builds and builds. I picture climbing up a foggy uphill path.
It does feel very journey-like, yeah.
A lot of these albums, that's why it's how they make me kind of feel, what I make me picture.
It can be varied for me, so it can journeys do apply to it and stuff, but it depends what angle it's coming from, you know, like stuff like that. But then we get Conduit. You know that darker sound I mentioned in the previous track? It's much more present here, as this is a track with a little more chaos to it. I'll bet from the point of view of a band who know how to control it, and turn it into a measuredly heavy and intense instrumental listen.
I love how this track pulls you in and surrounds you. I like the pacing and the intense build of the drums. It feels like it's a struggle, but you're still moving forward. That's why I kind of get it. Onwards. Yeah.
I mean, if they're creating these imageries in your head, then that's kind of the goal, I think, sometimes with music, particularly from an instrumental point of view.
Yeah, because there's no lyrics to
words to kind of tell you where we're going, like if it's doing a story and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, up to this point, very enjoyable. The first two tracks I was having totally good time, but I would say not quite anything that stood out yet. Like in a way that I was going to be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
The title track, Gnosis. Good gods. This is an epic and one that captivates. With subtle melody that begins to shift in unexpected ways and build in power, the sense of something so much bigger is there. But Russian Circles take their time, and it's all the better for it as it gets more and more complex sounding. It is uniquely challenging but interesting all the way through. Love those thick hits of bass, and the eventual eruption of ringing post is pure delight for me.
I love
amazing.
I love this one. The effects on this one, the background all working together. The wait for when it hits is so really worth it. Like it's a really good example of expressing so much with no words. Yeah. And the heavy gunfire like guitars at the end are really strong. Yeah. So, it's an
incredible piece of music. It's the track to hear, as far as I'm concerned. Particularly if you've never heard Russian Circles, I think this is a good example of getting, not to say the complete picture, because there's another side to this band that follows with Vlastomil, because it's very tough. It's that problem where it's like, oh my god, how do you follow that previous track? So I'm really glad they kind of go for a more disconcerting level of heaviness here. One with doom infusions and these reckless moments of speed. It's one of the heaviest tracks on the entire album by some margin.
Faster paced and very heavy, very intense sounding. I love the scene they set in my mind. It's very calming and there's no distraction, like I said before, no distraction of words. And I feel like when we see these live, they're having that mixture of sounds and what they can create. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. So,
I am. Yeah, definitely. Without constantly harping on about Damnation, it's one of the anticipated bands of that weekend. Weekend. Okay, Brrraains, a short intermission featuring haunting and echoing melody. It has a morose sound.
I just put a short interlude, melancholy, echoing guitar that sounds ruddy, mysterious.
Morose, melancholy, ruddy, mysterious, absolutely. Penultimate track, Betrayal. Back to noise, as I swear this one initially sounds more like a black metal track. Such as the cacophony of noise that comes from it. No complaining though, especially as it does settle down with a tempo shift. Mind you, it still holds a ton of heavy and weighty darkness. The instruments are very meaty here. It's a strong listen.
I'd say complete change from that previous one. Fast, chaotic drums and guitar. It's not my favourite on this album, but I still really enjoyed it.
It's not my favourite on the album, but I really enjoyed it. It's weirdly, for an album that's got 7 tracks, one of which is intermission, so 6 really. It's incredibly varied.
Yes, which I think sometimes might put people off listening to like
post because particularly when you see 5 or 6 tracks, because you can't expect it to follow a formula.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm surprised. Good.
And last but not least, it's Bloom. Go big and go home. That is the mantra for this track, as Russian Circles take a really subtle approach to melody. Beautiful and so deeply post. It gets me. I won't lie. I've really enjoyed what I've heard so far, but this is my jam. I want my post to have melody a lot of the time, and this one delivers. I think it's fabulous.
Yeah.
Second favourite track in the album.
This sounds more hopeful. The rest of the album feels quite bleak, so it feels quite nice to be ending like that. Nice gentle start with guitars that don't overpower it. They're separate but work together. The way that the drums blend in is great. They punctuate the new chapter, and I put my favourite track.
So I will add that right around the time that I listened and recorded this, did my notes for this album in preparation for us recording this, I was also listening to another new, fresh post-metal album that was actually due to come out. Was, as of the time recording, it's not out yet, but by the time this goes up, it probably is out, and hopefully you'll have heard it. And it's the new A Burial at Sea album. So I was in like a post-metal dream world because, particularly talking about Bloom specifically, because Bloom is very melodious, and I love that side of post. A Burial at Sea's new album has a lot of that post melody that I love. So like I was in my element, you know what I mean? Like that's what talking about Bloom, I automatically thought of A Burial at Sea as well. But this is great. This has made me a fan. That's exactly what needed to happen. I've come away with 2 tracks that I think are 2 of my favourite current post-metal tracks. If I was to do a post-metal playlist, boom, boom, 2 of them are in it for sure, that kind of thing. Yeah,
definitely. So all I heard was I had cherry-picked a few tracks. They did a song with Chelsea Wolfe, and that was really cool.
Okay.
And I'm like, right, I'm going to give it more of a go. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed this one. I'm glad.
Top 3 tracks, of course, and we basically already said 2 of them, so I'm going to throw them out there. It's Gnosis and it's Bloom. That's the 2 I imagine we match up on, right?
Definitely, yep.
The difference for me, the 3rd is Betrayal.
Vlastimil.
Okay.
Mine.
I think you could kind of pick anything you want here, though, in that regard. I don't think there's nothing below average. No. Everything is good to great to 2 stunners.
Yeah. Definitely.
And on an album, the fact you've got 2 tracks that are that fucking strong on an album of 7, 6, if you take out the intermission, that's not too bloody bad, right?
It's really good.
It is Gnosis by Russian Circles. What's someone write in the comments to go, no, actually, it is Gnosis. But whatever it is an incredible album, the 8th studio album by the post-metal band. You got any thoughts? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.